Hello my friends and welcome. Let's go for the front lines review. Today we have the confirmation that Russians left Pyaty-Khatki village on the south. Let's go for the timeline. It was yesterday and it is today. Two of the updates. Ukraine took control over that village. For the attacks on the south, Ukraine changed the tactics to high maneuverability. So before we used the tanks, and even some of the Leopards were sent to fight but were lost by Ukrainian army. However, we still have lots of the Leopards, and now we use the small infantry vehicles, small compared to the tanks, but they have the high maneuverability. So Ukrainian forces are usually now going behind the front lines and attack the enemy from behind. With this high maneuverability, it is possible. This tactics was done in Pyaty-Khatki, but there are no any changes over here near to Orikhiv and no changes in the main hotspot near to Velika Novosilka. The Ukrainian General Command, however, reported that Russia sent more reinforcements from the flooded region because they understand that Ukraine will not cross the river with the current water level, and with all of the devastations that happened in the region, basically there is no robust shore for landing. Just probably for now in a single place in Nova Kakhovka itself we tried to land on that shore, but I may say that it was unsuccessful operation from Ukrainian forces. Probably we deflected the attention of the Russian group in the region. However, the Ukrainian army wasn't able to capture this area and to create the hub for the further movement to get all of those villages and cities liberated. So Russia sent most of their forces from this area to this area on the south. It means that they have reinforcements and now they start to push against our movement. That is why we move little by little, but still there is the movement. For example, over here, and yesterday it was in this area near to Velika Novosilka. Also, Ukraine has some success near to the Bakhmut city. Recently we moved closer to Klishivka, not we but the 3rd Assault Brigade of Ukrainian army. So it was like that yesterday, and today it is like that. Guys took all of this forest line together with the road that leads actually to Klishivka. They're not really far away. Let's measure the distance, and it's around 2 kilometers. So basically they may use mortars against the Russian army in that area. Not only mortars, but some of the 30mm and 25mm guns may reach the Russian positions in that area, but the hill protects them against the Ukrainian attack. So probably for now mortars and artillery should do their job in Klishivka, and after Klishivka they're gonna move further to Opytne, and I guess next step will be to half encircle the Bakhmut city. On the northwest part of the Bakhmut there is also the movement from Ukrainian side. So it was yesterday and it is today. There's the front line correction. You can see the gray zone vanished near to Orikhovo-Vasilivka. It means that Ukrainian forces got this village under their control and moved forward a little by little. Here you can see lots of the hills and it's quite complicated to move ahead. As you can see, Russia loses the ground now, but they want to compensate, taking some territory here near to Liman, near to Kreminna. From what we know, they throw the reinforcements, and also they may go ahead near to Kupiansk in this area. Why do they do it? Because they want to show to their own people that Russia is still able to gain some territories even without the Wagner soldiers. I posted the video of a Ukrainian assault on the Russian trenches. The video is outstanding. I don't know where it happened. The video was filmed from the soldiers' POV perspective, the helmet GoPro mount, and you are able to see everything that soldiers sees. It was very interesting video. However, I will not publish it on this resource. But I can explain you what happened there. Ukraine uses the high mobility tactics, so our guys were able to go behind the trenches. So Russians were unaware about the Ukrainian soldiers, and our guys used that situation. One of the guys minused 4 of the Russian soldiers. But we have the screenshot of the video. This guy, but he doesn't look like the soldier really. He has the helmet. he has the AK-47 or whatever, but definitely he is not wearing the Russian camouflage, so probably he is some sort of the Russian military blogger. Looks very similar to this guy. This is one of the most popular Russian propaganda soldiers, so probably he was met with Ukrainian fire in one of the trenches. This guy is in lack of the training for sure, because he was moving just ahead through the trench, but there are some hollows places on the sides of the trench, and one of our soldiers was there, and this Russian guy with a beard is gone. Also, then our soldiers entered the trenches, they start to shout out loud, "Surrender and you'll survive, surrender and you'll survive." This guy obviously heard that message and still was holding his automatic rifle. Well, it's definitely hard to say whether this guy was this guy, but I give like 60% that it's the same person. Basically because he looked like more the military blogger rather than the Russian soldier. There is the new air raid warning just right now, and from what I understood, Russia fired lots of the rockets on Zaporizhia city, and locals reported about 8 explosions. Russia daily attacks Ukraine using the ballistic missiles as well as the cruise missiles. Our officials said during the winter time that Russia is running out of rockets, but from what I can see, they still have lots of that stuff in their army, unfortunately. Alright, we have the new satellite images of Kakhovka water reservoir and Zaporizhia nuclear power plant water reservoir. So it was before the dam attack and it is right now. Well, here it was the small channel that allowed water to come into the nuclear power plant cooling system, but here we also have some sort of the water, so probably there is the alternate way for the water to come in, but I'm not really familiar with the construction of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. I hope it will be like that. I hope that water is still able to come in and cool the system. The problem with this cooling water that it's not forever over there. It evaporates naturally, and also it got extra heat from the nuclear reactors. So without the new water coming to the station, it's a big problem, and I hope that it will be solved. The Ukrainian General Commander Zaluzhny went today to the head office of the army to analyze the situation with the Ukrainian counterattack, and probably he corrected the plans for the future. Well, now, according to the Ukrainian officials, our army moves further. We see it on the military map update, however, very slowly, and Russia possesses defense and they resist. It is good to show to our society that Zaluzhny is under control of the situation, because for some period of time, almost for 1 month, we haven't seen anything from Zaluzhny. Just maybe a couple of photos and couple of videos with volunteers, and that's it. This is what left from the Russian ammunition depot that was ambushed by Ukrainian Storm Shadow rockets yesterday. As you can see, it's very close to the railroad. Unfortunately, the railroad itself is not damaged, but the nearby buildings are totally demolished, and we can say for sure that there was ammunition inside, because everything is just demolished around. This is not possible just because of the single Storm Shadow missile or 2 of the Storm Shadow missiles. They're quite and relatively small, so for sure there was the Russian ammunition inside the building. The Putin's press secretary Peskov today said that they will not let the United Nations investigation team to investigate the destroyed dam in Nova Kakhovka. The question is why? Well, Peskov said that it's quite dangerous for the group to be at that particular place. But it is just an excuse, as you understand. The United States Secretary Blinken met with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Blinken said that the United States of America still has the single China recognition policy, so they do not recognize the sovereignty right of Taiwan. However, America supports Taiwan just in case the mainland China will try to invade the island. Also, Blinken said point that China once again confirmed that they will not supply weaponry to the Russian Federation. The president of France, Macron, confirmed that the SAM-T air defense systems are now in Ukraine. This is the French-Italian-made system, and it is the analog of the Patriot system. It has the long range and it is also very precise. Here are the pictures of the night vision and the thermal camera probably installed on the Bradley system that Ukraine uses nowadays. This system gives the advantage for Ukrainian army to use vehicles during the night time. We don't have the good quality night vision and thermal cameras on our old Soviet tanks, and Russia also doesn't have it. This is the interesting video of the Russian K-52 attack helicopter. It may carry extra fuel tanks, it may drop down the fuel tanks, then they are empty. So that is what happened. They dropped the fuel tanks and everything seems to be good, but something extra landed on the ground, and that extra actually is the part of the helicopter, the part of the empennage of the tail. The vertical stabilizer is gone and the part of the horizontal stabilizer too. I'll try to zoom in. Yes, here something is really missing. So why this helicopter is still able to fly? Because it has no tail rotor. It has the double rotor construction of the main propellers, so the blades just compensate each other's moment and the helicopter may fly. This is the robust construction, but kind of bulky and adds extra weight for the helicopter. So as for me, the standard construction, as for example in Apache helicopter, is way better and saves weight. But in this case, the Kamov construction help the crew and the helicopter to survive. Obviously, this helicopter will not fly for some period, but Russians will repair it. More about the training of Ukrainian pilots. The company that produces